I hope this found the right people. I just clocked out of work. And I prayed to Source, to Spirit, to God, to show me my purpose, to show me my calling. And I was guided to start recording, to talk about my spiritual journey, to talk about stuff that I'm doing right now, to kind of sit here and just share a moment with you. So hi. My name is Kat. I don't really know what to say besides I have some experience in like spirituality. I have some experience doing spiritual content creation, but it was never anything like this. It was more so tarot readings. I started my spiritual journey 5 years ago. However, before now, I would have these periods of like, I would spiritually awaken and then it would kind of go dormant, and then like I would awaken again and then it would go dormant again. And only now am I finally in a like space where it's like I don't know why I made that face. I'm now in a space where my spirituality, my spiritual journey is kind of at the forefront of my mind. And it has been since the beginning of the year. So, a little bit about this journey that I'm on now. I was in a relationship for almost 3 years. And, you know, of course, like, I loved that person a lot. And we had great times together, and you know, I was able to accomplish some dreams, but you know, it all fell apart. It all fell apart, and I watched it in real time as I'm like, this is going downhill. This is going downhill and downhill. And it was like, no matter what I did to try and fix what was happening, it fell apart anyway. And I ended up getting burned because, I mean, the things that I tried to be okay with, that I tried to agree to, in order to not lose this person, it was not me. It was not me. And it was just a whole situation that it ended up with this person, like, essentially burning bridges with our entire friend group. Burning bridges between me and the friends, and like dragging my name through the mud, and you know, just I don't know. I don't want to go into my relationship problems because it was just a whole mess and a half. Anyway, so during all of this, I kind of had like an eat, pray, love moment. If you've seen the movie or read the book, where I was like, I was like, God, if I am not meant to do this anymore, please, please find a way for me to get out. And I prayed and I journaled about it. And then I kind of released it, and that's when everything fell apart, and it was painful. And you know, instead of, because I had the tried story that was just like, you know, what's the point to doing any of this, and like being in that victim mindset, I was just like, okay, I was like, let me walk with spirit. Let me walk with source. Let me walk with the universe, with God, with my angels, you know, whatever you want to call it. I was just like, let me walk in faith. And it didn't look like being like the perfect persona of a spiritual person, right? It was just like, I prayed and I was like, anoint me through the flames so I can rise like the phoenix I am. And I was like, I don't care what has to burn down. I am so tired of the pain. I am tired of being put last. I am tired of being in situations where people just like, they're like, how much can I put you through in order for you to prove your love to me? You know, you're a good person. How much can I put you through until you snap? Because I don't like your energy. I don't like your kindness. I don't like the friendship and the love that you have to offer. How much can I put you through? And I was like, I don't care what burns away. I don't care how it has to happen. God, please, if it is not meant to be, get me out of it. And here I am in July. I am not living in the same city or state that I was living in at the beginning of the year. I don't have the same friends. Well, like, I have some of the same friends. But it was like, the friends who were not meant to be in my life, exit stage left, you know? Exit stage left. You know, my relationship fell apart. And I was like, I don't care if you drag my name through the mud. I don't care how I look to your followers. I don't care how I look to your friends, your little, you know, snake friends who were the ones talking shit about you. Okay, they were talking mad shit about you. They were the ones warning me about your narcissistic behavior. They were the ones talking shit about you. And then as soon as we broke up, they turned around and they were like, oh, Kat's the real narcissist. Okay. Whatever. I was just like, let it all fall apart. And, you know, just the friends who were not meant to be with me are not in my life. The person I'm not meant to be with, not in my life. And, you know, now, what's at the forefront of my mind, because I've always been a people pleaser, and I've always been the kind of person who was like putting other people before myself. Spirit, God, whoever you want to call them, put me in timeout. So the friends who were not meant to be with me were taken out of my life. You know, the people who were not meant to come with me were taken out. More so, I was taken out of their life. Because it was like, Spirit plucked me up, and they were like, nope, you, time out. And now I am having to focus on my health. I'm focusing on my faith. I'm focusing on my spirituality. I'm focusing on my creativity. I'm focusing on achieving the dreams I want to achieve. Because I have always been the kind of person who always put other people before me. And that stemmed from my insecurity. That stemmed from my wounds. That I am not good enough unless I am providing for someone. I'm not worthy of love unless I have something to provide. And now I am in a place, and this is somewhere, like, this is something I had to be alone to learn, is that I am worthy because I am here. I am worthy of my dreams coming true. I am worthy of my creativity. Like, I am worthy, like, to make art. My art is worthy. People deserve, you know, to see my art. I deserve to have my art be seen. I deserve to have my dreams be seen and to be affirmed. I deserve to be successful doing the things that I want to do. Okay? I work for one of the richest companies in the world, and they do not pay my bills. You know, they don't pay me enough. They don't give me what I deserve to be paid. And you know, I work my job right now. I take my money. I go in there. All right. I clock in. I do my job. I clock out. All right. I listen to my podcasts. I listen to my spiritual mentors. I listen to tarot readings. I listen to subliminals. I listen to, you know, things that help me on my spiritual journey. And I get paid to do that. All right. It's nowhere near what I want or need to be paid, but it's enough for now. All right. I know I am not meant to be making one of the richest people on the planet even richer. I know that I am supposed to be rich and make my bloodline rich. Even if that doesn't look like being a multi-millionaire, you know, because some of these, like, whitewash, like, manifestation, like, I don't know. If you know, you know. If you've been on, like, TikTok and people are like, oh yeah, I choose the path of least resistance and I'm gonna be a millionaire and it's just gonna come to me and it's gonna be gifted to me. Okay, great. The path of least resistance is usually the least rewarding. Okay. My name is Shadow of the High Priestess, all right? Focusing on the shadow, all right? The path of least resistance may not be the most rewarding. And even though, like, I'm not a multimillionaire, I don't know if I want to be. I want to be taken care of. I want to be able to create. All right, that's what's fulfilling me. You know, some people, like, if you want to subscribe, okay, I'm not saying that, like, that path to spirituality doesn't work, but it's not for me. That is not my path. And it's okay. It's okay for multiple paths to spirituality to exist. All right, for me, I'm not all love and light. My life has been shit. I have been through so much. I have been through things that would make people give up. Things that some people couldn't fucking survive. And I am here. I'm here. And, you know, even if I am not living the dreams, right, that I have right now, I know that wherever I end up, because I am the type of person who has taken all that bullshit, who has taken all that darkness and the things that should have fucking ended me. I'm sorry if you don't like cuss words, sorry. That's just who I am. All of those things that should have ended me, I am the kind of person who can take all of that, not internalize it, not sit here and be like, this is where it ends for me. No, I am one of those type of people that's like, all this happening, okay, great. I can move on. I can always set it down. I can always alchemize it, and I can get to where I need to be. And that's why everything always works out for me. You know, right now, like, I'm taking my spiritual path a lot more seriously, because in the end, my journey has been alone. It's been lonely. It's been, you know, just me and God, me and my angels, me and spirit, me and, you know, my ancestors. not like, I haven't had supportive family. Okay? What my family looks like, my family are my parents and my siblings. And we are scattered across the country. Well, like, yeah, we're scattered across the country. And we never talk. Alright? And I just don't have the support from my family that most other people do. And that's fine. That's fine. I don't have a huge support system. My friends, like, I have, let's see here. I have 3 good friends who, like, 3. 2 or 3? I don't know. I have a couple good friends who, like, care about the progress on my journey. Like, I have a couple, like, a very, very few friends who, like, I can message and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through right now. Here's the messages that I got. And they're like, oh my God, that makes so much sense for you. The rest of my friends, fuck off. They're only there when it's time to party. Or they're only there to stalk my social media. They don't like my posts. Anytime I post anything that's like, hey, can you share my posts so that I can, get art commissions? They don't share my posts. They don't like my posts. They see me asking my friends for help, and it's not even monetary. It's not like, I'm not asking my friends for money. I'm asking them to repost my posts on social. Anyway, I don't have it like that with anyone, really. It's just me and God. It's just me and spirit. It's just me and my angels. And, that's why I felt called to get on here, to record, to talk about myself, talk about my journey, maybe offer some wisdom for you. Who knows? Because I want people who are on a similar path to mine to know that they are not alone. You may not have support from your parents or your friends or your siblings or bosses, anything like that. But you have me. And I hope that can give you, I don't know. I hope it can give you a little bit of hope. I hope that, you can see my little candle, my little torch, my little flicker of a flame, and it help you see just a tiny bit of brightness in the darkness. That's what I hope. And if you're on a path like mine and you feel alone and you feel called, like, even if you're not on a spiritual journey, but you feel like you have a greater purpose, that you're not supposed to be working some 9 to 5 or what have you. You're not supposed to be working some dead-end job. You're not supposed to just work, pay bills, and that's it. But nobody seems to be supporting you, that you don't feel like your creative calling is good enough. I want community in that, because people who are on a path like mine, people who feel aligned with a higher calling, who feel like they're not just meant to work a job, pay bills, and die, all right? I want us to build our own community, our own brotherhood, our own family, just to support each other. So, you know, I want to hear about your journey. You know, because you can feel it within you. You have these gifts you are meant to use. And whatever that may look like. You know, writing, you know, making music, doing art, drawing, baking, cooking, even just like having the ability to bring people together is a gift. And I want to hear what that calling is for you. Even if you don't have it figured out, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with my own life, but I know that I am supposed to talk about my journey. All right, everyone has a voice. Everyone's voice needs to be heard, especially on this journey. If you are on this spiritual path, you have a voice that needs to be heard. All right, somebody who is in my energetic collective, you have a voice that needs to be heard, however that looks like. Whether it is spoken word, whether it's, you know, making a video talking to you right now, whether it's making art, whether it's, you know, buying someone a bag of chips at the gas station, whether it's sharing a coffee with a friend, no matter what it looks like, everybody has a gift, everybody has a voice that needs to be heard, and it is part of their higher calling. I want to hear what your higher calling is. I want to hear what you feel pulled to do, even if the circumstances don't align with it. You know, the things that I've wanted to do, they don't align with me working for the richest fucking company in the world. They don't align with me doing a fucking 9-to-5. All right? I want to hear what that is. And I want to hear where you are on your spiritual journey. And I hope that by making videos like these, I want to help people be able to see the light. Not being one of those love and light bullshit whitewash spirituality content creators who's like, oh yeah, path of least resistance, I'm a fucking millionaire and I get everything I want and I don't have to lift a finger and this, that, and the other, because that's not my fucking path. Alright? My path has been very painful, very isolated, very lonely. Alright, and if you are a part of my collective, if you and me are meant to be homies, alright, if we're meant to roll together, we have a higher calling than that. Because our dreams, our manifestations, they aren't about, oh, you know, the things that I want, the material that I want. No, our higher calling, no, it's for ascension, baby. We are meant, alright, we're meant to connect with others, and we are meant to help people ascend. All right, it's for the community. Our goals, our dreams, the things that we want to accomplish, we are focused on how can I make this world a better place? How can I serve the people? How can I help people? The rewards will follow. Everything else will follow. I will be taken care of. I know that. All right, because I'm not walking a path of selfishness. All right, I'm not walking a path of, you know, let me sit here and let me just do nothing. You know, my channel is called Shadow of the High Priestess. Okay, if you don't align with shadow work, if you don't align with High Priestess energy, if you don't align with going through the darkness to find the fucking light, okay, High Priestess energy, it's balancing the shadow and the light self. All right, kind of like the High Priest or the Hierophant. If you do not align with High Priestess energy, I'm not going to be for you. I'm not going to be this love and light and let's do nothing and let's be billionaires and let's, you know, marry rich men and just, it's not for you if you align with that. And, you know, if that's your calling, then I'm happy for you. Okay? I love you and you deserve it. All right? But my higher calling, I'm sorry, I'm meant to take this darkness and I am meant to transmute it to light, and I am meant to bring it together and find that balance, and I am meant to help people do the same. I am meant to take the people who have been kicked down, and I am meant to help them find the light. I am meant to help them find their voice, their calling, open their throat chakras, okay? Sorry. Whew. I haven't talked this much in months. And it feels so great. So great using my voice. It feels so great feeling secure in myself. And I've been sitting in the parking lot of my work for an hour now. And I have an hour drive home. Oh! Well, anyway, the whole reason that I wanted to get on here and record a video is because I feel like these conversations, I feel like it's going to be a regular thing, baby. So, if you align, if you feel like maybe you are a part of my collective, maybe you are a part of my family, my soul tribe, you know, I want you to use my comments section. I want you to tell me about your path. I want to be friends. That was so cringe, wasn't it? Well, that's me. If that was cringe, I can't even get the words out. Whew. If that was corny, then I'm meant to be on the cod, baby. All right. Anyway, please use my comment section. Tell me about your spiritual journey. Tell me about what you are doing right now. Tell me about your gifts. Tell me about your dreams, what you were tapping into. All right, let's be friends. Let's be, you know, a soul tribe. Let's do this all together. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what else really to say right now. Besides, thank you. Thank you for watching. Okay, that's one thing to thank you for. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on your path. Thank you for being you. Ooh, that's a good one. Thank you for being you. Because even though you may or may not be secure in yourself right now, and that's fine. That's fine. That doesn't mean you're not beautiful. That doesn't mean you're not smart, not funny, not talented. So thank you for being you. Ooh, that's a good one. I gotta write that down. Anyway, yeah. That's a bit about me. Did I really tell you? Did I really tell you anything about myself? I don't know. My name's Kat, Shadow of the High Priestess. I'm 25. I'm on a spiritual journey, obviously. I just rambled for 30 fucking minutes about it. Yeah, I'm here because hopefully somebody can hear my story. Hopefully somebody can just chill with me and chat, and, you know, maybe I'll drop some little sprinkles of wisdom. Sparkle, sparkle, bitch. But yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna go home now. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.